Good evening, Gabby.
Good evening, TC, and welcome all to our weekly podcast, Terry Curran's Curran View with the Isle of Hillsborough. Mr. Terry Curran, steady away, son. How you doing? How's your health, firstly? You're recovering nicely, aren't you now?
Well, I won't say I'm recovering nicely, but I'm getting a little bit better as the days and weeks go on.
And is Janet looking after you, mate?
No, she can't look after me when she's not well herself, really.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
As it happens, I'm down home.
Okay.
And what I was going to say to you then,
and
I was at the hospital on Monday about my niece. I've got my right knee is completely buggered, riddled with arthritis, so I do need a new knee.
Was that due to the cortisone injections that you had pumped into you back in the day, T? Or is that
I had five of them.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
I smashed my ligaments like Cluffy did his and Gazzy did his.
Yeah.
In my day, we had a pot on from my toes right up into my groin. That's what really cost me at Forest, really, that bad injury. And then after that, I've had five cortisone injections to it. You know, all because of managers you've got to play.
Again, that's what happened in those days. It's a bit different, in the modern game.
You put 10, 12, 15,000 people on the game, so you have to play.
Absolutely.
If it was in America now, like an American rugby, American football, we get fortunes for how we've been treated.
Absolutely.
You get absolutely crippled.
Yeah.
At work, and you just put back as though you were no one.
That's unfortunately how we used to treat the football players back in them days too. It was disgraceful. When you look back at it, the way that the players were treated back in the 60s, 70s and before that, it's an absolute disgrace. And thankfully, players don't get treated like that today. And of course, in 20, 30 years' time, when they retire, they won't need new hips.
You see something like a woman suing Trump.
Yeah.
Didn't rape her or anything, and gets £83 million.
Yeah, it's absolutely incredible.
So that's 3 decades ago.
Yeah.
So why we can't sue the Football League or the Premier League or whatever? Not the Premier League, because the Premier League weren't going on, but the Football League and the FA for how players were treated.
Absolutely. I mean,
it's criminal what they've done to not just me. It's hundreds of players.
If you go back to the heading where Dawn Astle has been getting into that for the last, as long as, I've known of Dawn for 10, 15 years plus.
Just fobbed her off.
Absolutely,
The corrupt media just make it as though, just trying to make a mountain out of a mole.
It's almost as though they don't want to admit liability, because if they do, they're going to have to pay money out, and it is an absolute disgrace. But what magic moments have you sourced for us, T, this week?
Well, I'm going with Reynolds. Is it Lamar Reynolds of Maidstone?
Yes.
That was a great goal.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it?
From any level of football.
Yeah.
The pace, the technique, and the delicate chip end. So that's the one I'm going for. But the second goal, the victory second goal, was a really brilliant goal and all.
Yeah, it was. Again, a great performance. I didn't see the game. I was working, but by all accounts, a great performance by
I didn't
Maidstone.
see the game, but I saw the goals.
Yeah, sure. And Ipswich did rest 10 players, so, what you give is what you get, as the great Paul Weller said in the 70s. And that I think that is the slogan and the advert for Sainsbury's as well. So well done, Sainsbury's, for putting Start on the TV.
What makes me laugh with this FA Cup, it was a dream.
Yeah, it was.
For every young footballer to want to win the FA Cup.
Yeah.
And I guarantee you, majority of the footballers back then would have sort of won the FA Cup than the league title.
Yeah.
Then you get these teams what's near bottom, and these are in lower leagues, chopping and changing the team as though it will help them get promoted or it will save them getting relegated. And it's the biggest load of rubbish I've heard and seen in my life.
Yeah.
It is so pathetic. If you want to get out of trouble, try and win football matches. Try and breed confidence. Because when you're out of both cup competitions and you're going in and try to, fight relegation off. I guarantee you, there's lots of players. A bit different for me because it never bothered me. I never worried about all that. But I saw players worry about it. But, some of them couldn't take the pressure, and it made them more less confidence because there was nothing, only relegation to fight for, which put some of them under pressure, and they can't handle that type of pressure. Some players.
Absolutely. And if you're struggling this season and you're on a decent cup run, surely that momentum of the cup run and the fans getting behind you and progressing in the cup and getting as far as the quarters or the semi-finals or even the final of the League Cup or the FA Cup has got to breed confidence within the team, the group, the fans, the club. So I've always thought that it is an absolute positive, a cup run, and the fans love it as well. So how the managers and the club look at it as a negative and rest players, I don't know, but it is a modern thing. It never used to happen back in the day. Sadly, it does these days.
Yeah, but again, like I'm saying to you,
Yeah.
If they're resting players as though that's going to help them.
But it don't. I mean, there's no evidence.
Relegated.
Yeah, there's no evidence that it does. No.
If you look at football,
yeah,
from whenever, you'll always get one team what comes out of the pack, what seems to survive.
Yeah.
Not always, but you always get the odd one, and you get the one what you don't expect finish up dropping down into that relegation zone.
Yeah. Yeah, and in the Championship, which used to be the second division,
they try to make you believe something what's fake.
Of course it is, because that's the narrative that they want to drive. It's all the Premier League, the Premier League, the Premier League, and they want you to buy into, and people to buy into, nothing else matters apart from the Premier League and the Champions League. And
they make you laugh where they say they play more. Where do they play more games?
They haven't. They play
That's
less.
Only the Champions League.
Absolutely.
But back then, Liverpool only played 12 players, 13 players. These have got 25, 26 players to chop and change from.
Yeah, I mean, when Aston Villa won the league in 1980-81 season, they had 14 local derbies.
To brainwash people, people believe it.
Yeah, they played League Cup games, FA Cup games, and they played 42 league games.
Replays.
Exactly, yeah.
FA Cup.
You don't get that today. As you say, they have squads of 25. They rotate them. When you're looking at any player that is playing in the Premier League now, they are playing less domestic games of football than they ever have in the entire history, pretty much, of Football League.
What were the 46 games back then in the old First
Division? You would play in the old First Division, you play 42. So you play 42, there's 38 42. Now. You play FA Cup games, you play League Cup games. You play Texaco Cup games, you might play Watney Cup games. Well, unless you top goal scorers, the Watney Cup. But there was other cup competitions
and then
well.
when you got knocked out of cup competitions,
yeah.
we'd fly off. I'd be counting them. We'd fly off to Far East to play a game.
Absolutely. I mean, I remember doing a podcast with Paul Fletcher, and I think in the 1973-74 season, I think Burnley played about 66 games, League and Cup. And pretty much the same players played in every game, and that was across the board with players that were playing in the old First Division.
Liverpool, look at Manchester United,
Absolutely.
Look at Leeds United, look at Arsenal. Did they play with same players week in, week out?
Yeah, you could name them.
Midweek in midweek games, right? Week in, week out, season in, season out.
Yeah, on bad pitches.
Yes.
Kick from pillar to post.
Shocking pitches.
Yeah.
Yes.
With all the jeopardy that you had in the game. And of course, today they're playing on bowling greens with the best facilities,
everything,
etc. And still mow the place in the games.
To kick the balls that Jimmy Greaves and them to kick.
No, I can't.
The old leather ball with lacing.
No, again, on last week's podcast, we were talking about this, and there's not many players I see today that could cut it back in the day.
All I'm trying to say is, stop feeding us lies.
Absolutely, yeah. But that's all they will do. That's all they will do.
Feeding lies and respect yesteryear's players.
Absolutely.
The football didn't start with the Premier League.
100%. So I put a post up on the Curran View group the other day, got a lot of interaction, and it was on the back of James Milner's just drawn level or gone by Ryan Giggs or Gareth Barry. I'm not really interested. They've all played over 600 games of top flight football, and well done to them. So I went online and I found a, a, a sheet, a list of the top. I mean, Peter Shilton has played the most. John Hollins is up there as well, as is Ryan Giggs.
Oh, by the way, let me tell you all this.
Yeah.
Shields played 126 England games on top of that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely too. And for a period of time, Shilton and Clements were rotated. Yeah, I do as well. Clements played, was in the top 10 as well, as was Mickey Mills. And there was a number of former players that played the first division.
Who was the outfield player? What played? Obviously, Schultz finished up beating him, but who was it?
It was Johnny Hollins.
Beckham?
No, it was Johnny Hollins. Was
but
second on this
for
list.
England?
Yeah, I think it was David Beckham, wasn't it? Yeah, I think Beckham.
But Beckham played in the old first division before the Premier League, didn't he?
May have played a season because Ryan Giggs played two.
They played in it because Manchester United did not win their first title until the Premier League started. Leeds United were the first.
Absolutely.
Well, when I say Leeds United, well, Leeds United were the last.
19,
not Don Revie, Howard Wilkinson were the last Englishman to win the old first division title.
Still the last Englishman.
Yeah.
He's still the last Englishman to win the top flight title, isn't he? No Englishman has won it since Howard Wilkinson. It's absolutely incredible. And back to the debate about the foreign managers and the foreign coaches and what they've brought to the British game. But you're right, T. Ryan Giggs, he played, and again on the Premier League chart of Ryan Giggs, he's not number one because he played 2 seasons in the first division, and they don't count. Also, in Alan Shearer, when you look at the goal scoring charts and Shearer's top, there's another 30 plus goals that Shearer scored in the first division. That doesn't count because it's just Premier League. And I've got nothing against the Premier League. I enjoy the Premier League. But when you're formulating these lists of who's had the most appearances, please put top flight games, including the old first division, because football was invented in the 1800s, not 1992. And it really does rattle my cage. The same with the goal scorers. And it's almost as though they want to eradicate and get rid of all the records prior to 1992. And it's largely because there's too many young uns involved in football that are trying to rewrite it. And they're lazy. They don't want to do the proper work because they can just go and copy and paste something from the Premier League.
Computerized now.
Absolutely.
You've got 5 or 6 analysts telling managers they need to bring this player off, he's too tired.
Yeah, he's in the red zone.
How pathetic is that?
Unbelievable, isn't it? Imagine Cloughy and Shankly and Paisley and Matt Busby and Fergie.
What I'm trying to say to you is,
yeah,
by pulling those players off, that does not make them win titles.
No, of course it doesn't. But again, I go back, imagine telling them.
Because adrenaline and confidence gets you over the line.
Of course it does. Cantona's in the red zone, Sir Alex. I think you want to take him off. Do me a favour. He's doing what I tell him to do. Ron Atkinson says to me, don't give them the chance or the opportunity to make them think that they're tired. If you let them think they're tired, they'll be tired.
I played for 13 years and I had to finish early as a 30-year-old.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you now.
Yep.
Throughout all, and I had plenty of football, and I was friends with lots of players.
Yep.
They hated not being picked.
Absolutely.
If you tell the player you were tired, they'd be arguing with managers. I've seen it.
Yeah, of course I would. I ain't tired. I want to play.
It's all fake lies.
Of course it is.
And they've got to be called out for it.
Absolutely. And if you said to any player that has ever played the professional game, do you want to train or do you want to play? I'd be amazed if more than 3 players said, I'd rather train.
Well, you see, even that is all fake. How they brought that all about.
Of course it is.
Because training back then Right? If you lived in places like Huddersfield, Halifax, Sheffield,
Yeah.
I don't know about Manchester. I know in Liverpool, well, up at Everton, we never had hills to run up and down. But Sheffield Wednesday, we had hills to run up and down.
Yeah, I mean Sheffield is a pretty hilly place, isn't it?
And so you were doing absolutely. I mean, Sheffield United, they had a Olympic trainer, Jim. I'm trying to think of his surname now. And they used to take you for runs like I don't know what. I'm telling you, you think to yourself, what's going off here?
Well, Dave Sexton, if the boys on a Monday had come in, he'd smell the breath and he could smell alcohol.
Everybody ran on a Monday.
Well, they'd literally.
I mean, the ones what were drinking,
Yeah.
they'd beg to be injured.
But literally, they'd be in the minibus and they'd run them down to Epsom Downs and they'd be running around the Derby track.
Yeah.
I mean, Tatton Corner was the finishing line.
Racecourse track at Doncaster.
Yeah, it's incredible.
So all I'm trying to say to you is, you get beat on a Saturday as well.
Yeah.
You got beat on a Saturday. Oh, you're all in to run. Wow. What coach? No wonder why we've got worse at coaching in this country.
Absolutely, T, 100%. Back to the magic moments. My magic moments were Maidstone beating Ipswich. I thought the goals were fantastic. I thought the fans were unbelievable. How about that pub?
And I will say this about the Ipswich manager: he's done a brilliant job.
Yeah, absolutely.
But we're still entitled to knock him for changing 11 players.
Absolutely. We changed 10 players. 10 players. As soon as I heard the lineup, I thought, aye. Don't like it. And then, to be fair, got beat. Again, you get what you deserve if you do that. But how about that Ipswich Maidstone fan that fell from the top tier at Portman Road? Did you see that?
I didn't see that, yeah, but I've not heard that, so I don't know what happened there.
Yeah, I put that on the Curran View.
That's the first time. I've not seen it.
I don't know if there was alcohol taken. I'm not sure. But when you get a bit excited and you might be on the front row, and he just toppled over and banged on the roof and then fell down into the crowd below him. So we hope that he's okay. But again, absolutely incredible. And I love the celebration.
Fan chasing the referee.
Oh, can you believe it? What's going on? I mean, it was like something from Benny Hill, wasn't it?
But why wasn't that stopped?
I don't know.
By the way, I can't prove it.
Yeah.
But why was it? Why was he allowed to run all that way like that without anybody?
I have no idea.
Can you remember? I can still remember Everton in the FA Cup.
Yes.
And not just that. 4 or 5 police chasing the Everton fan.
Yeah.
At Wembley.
Mm.
But I've seen that. I've seen them. I mean, there's that many security guards there. Yeah. There's nobody went on the pitch to chase them.
No, usually if you got a pitch invasion, there's a number of stewards, etc., or police officers on duty that are chasing. I mean, when Erica Rowe at Twickenham, I think there was 30,000 chasing Erica, bless her. But no, with this Port Vale fan, absolutely unbelievable. And again, why did they do it? I mean, we've seen West Bromwich Albion, a bird trying to nutmeg one of the stewards. And you're thinking, I mean, why would you do that? You can't go onto the pitch unless you're a footballer. I mean, it is a criminal offence, and these people are going to be banned from watching the team that they so-called love forever and a day because they've gone onto the field of play. And it's not as though there's no cameras like back in the olden days. There's cameras everywhere at these football grounds now, so you're going to be found within hours.
When there's any trouble at a football ground,
don't know.
And they can pinpoint.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
With accuracy.
Yep.
Which can prove.
Yeah.
Yet I'll never forget that where England were playing abroad somewhere.
It's hungry, wasn't it?
And they let them all out at ground.
Yeah, they're all in black, weren't they? All them ultras, yeah.
So
didn't stop them.
Everything, listen, everything is planned. People have got to stop being brainwashed.
Absolutely, too.
And it's saying what's been happening to the world with everything what's been going off in it.
Yeah, and Kyle Bartley going in and getting his son, talking about crowd disturbances. Apparently there was one Wolves fan that was in the Albion end when Wolves scored the second goal. He was celebrating, and then the Albion fans around him went absolutely crazy, and it proper kicked off. I think the players were off the pitch for about 40 minutes. I mean,
Yeah,
it
a
is a
good half
moody,
hour anyway.
yeah, it's a moody derby anyhow, Albion versus Wolves. But I think that the Wolves contingent would have all
I was
been,
watching it, to be
yeah,
honest.
the Wolves contingent would have all been Wolves supporters that got history of away travelling. I'm guessing that's what usually happens. But I'd heard on local radio here in the West Midlands that that Albion had struggled to sell all their tickets, so pretty much sold tickets to anybody that wanted a ticket. And I think that may be how that Wolverhampton Wanderers fan got in there. But
Yeah,
certainly
but
went over the top and went
Gabby,
crazy.
so he's got in there.
Yeah,
So why does he jump up and down when Wolves are scored?
because he's
He
stupid.
know,
Yeah.
but what I'm trying to say is,
Yeah,
he
yeah,
knows what's going to happen.
absolutely. Because he's stupid is the answer. Why would you, right up there in amongst all of the Albion fans in the Alfords Lane and then right by the Brummie Road end, why, when Wolves score the second goal, would you jump up unless you're stupid? And I think that that's the reason why, because he's stupid. And I'm sure that they've got that fella and will be banned for life for watching Wolverhampton Wanderers. And while they were off, there was an Albion fan that got on the pitch waving an Albion flag, Albion scarf at the Wolves supporters. And you just think, what's going on in football at the moment? I mean, are they just all stupid? Or is it the fact that they take too much drink and maybe something a little bit stronger?
Or
The
is it?
pubs.
Or is it? Or is it? Because again,
Mm,
it's not that long ago where security would chase you and stop you.
yeah.
It's as though they're allowed to do it
Mm.
now.
I just don't know what's going on at the moment. Whether there isn't sufficient police presence there, whether the police are told not to police it as they used to do back in the old. I don't know what's going on. But this clown went on the pitch and was goading the Wolves supporters as well. So you just look and you think, my word. I mean, and these aren't kids. These aren't silly like teenagers that have had too many shandies. I mean, the pubs in Wolverhampton were open at 6 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday, and I'm sure pubs in the West Bromwich area would have been as well. So, when they say, oh, we can't play these games later and have the kick-off times later
On the fence,
because of crowd disturbance.
I can remember when the fence. I mean, I remember that Sheffield derby were brought to 12 o'clock.
Yeah.
Just so they weren't getting fans coming to the game at 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
Half cooked, half pissed, whatever.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
So, but pubs were closed. But I mean, nowadays, like you said, they're open at bloody 6 o'clock now.
Yeah, they do. And the only thing that I can think of is with later kickoffs during most of the season, it's dark. So it would be easier to police it if it's light rather than it's dark. So to kick off something at 12 o'clock rather than 3 o'clock, maybe it's because of what's going to happen after, because after 5 o'clock it does go dark. So if we're playing devil's advocate, that may be the reason that they put it forward, because they've got more visibility. But in truth, when certain teams play each other, you could play at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning. You could play it on the surface of Mars. There's still going to be crowd trouble because some of these supporters absolutely hate each other with a passion.
Has there always been crowd trouble?
Yeah.
Yeah, they have.
Well, pretty much,
There's
yeah.
always been
Pretty much, yeah.
crowd trouble.
Yeah.
So it's like anything else. When they're screaming about all these races, there's always been some idiots.
Yeah, always.
Right? But these people, the media, talk sport and all that, make a mountain out of a mole to make it worse than what it is.
Yeah.
So, because that brings it more news.
Yeah, of course it does. I mean, there's less now than what there used to be, of course.
But we're not saying, it ain't got to be stopped and it ain't got to be brought out. Of course it's got to be brought out. Of course it's got to be stopped.
Exactly, but good luck stopping it.
But what we don't want is people exaggerating and making a mountain out of a mole.
Yeah, absolutely, T. I'm not going to exaggerate about this goal from Facundo Bunati, or whatever his name is, from for Brighton against Sheffield United. But what a goal. I mean, what a goal that was. Another young Argentinian player that Brighton, I mean, I do like Brighton, the way that they bring in so many brilliant overseas players. I mean, caught a cold last night at Kenilworth Road. I mean, what a fantastic victory that
Can
was
you
for Luton
believe
Town.
the transformation in Brighton from 20 years ago?
Unbelievable, yeah. I mean, I remember when Peter Ward was playing up front and they were at the old Goldstone ground, and then when they were
Well,
playing,
I played at the old Goldstone ground,
yeah, you would do,
29,000 people there.
yeah.
And then to see him playing on pitches with erected stands, I thought it was not embarrassing, but you think, how far have they dropped Brighton?
Exactly. And now you look at them now under Tony Bloom, you know.
Unbelievable.
Oh, it
and
is a
then you look
tremendous
at the
transformation.
result against, and let's play tribute to Luton, because
I think
Luton
they're
are
doing
playing some
brilliant.
good football, you know.
Yeah, they are. I mean, I do like.
But
Luton
who
don't play.
expected that result 4-0? Who expected 3-0 at half time?
I don't think many Luton fans would have expected it, let alone anybody else outside of Luton.
If you look since Barkley,
what a signing he's been.
Townsend.
Yep, another
And there's
great
a black
signing.
lad there. There's a black lad up front.
He used to play for Walsall, yeah.
He's absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
He goes past people as though they're not there.
Yeah.
And he, them three have brought a lot of confidence.
Yeah.
And a lot of quality into the team.
Absolutely. And in terms of Ross Barkley, I mean, there's talk of him maybe getting on the plane to Germany. I mean, I've not seen enough of him, so I can't really speak. But I just listen to people talking about him, and you
know
read
as
the
well
reports.
as I do.
He's had a great season.
Has got his own people.
100%. 100%.
He's got
Barkley, no chance.
I've always liked Barkley. I have always liked
same here.
Listen, I've more chance of going to win. Not because he's not playing well, because he is playing well.
Yeah.
There's as much chance of going to Germany than I have.
I agree with you. Cole Palmer, what do you reckon about Cole? Will he get on the plane?
Brilliant player.
Yeah. I don't think he's going to take him.
Only take the players
100%.
who he's had for the last, when I said the last 10 years, obviously his players dropped out.
Yeah, of course they
The ones that he's brought in.
Yep.
It's always like rested managers.
Yep.
They have that click and they stick to that click.
So in terms of Gareth Southgate's squad, that we all know what his squad is because we've watched England over the last few years, there's maybe 2 or 3 places up for grabs for players that haven't played in any squad up to this day. And I think that the likes of Barkley, the likes of Cole Palmer, and 1 or 2 others.
Do you think Jordan Henderson will go?
Yes. I think 100% he'll
go. That's why he's come back for.
Yeah, I think 100%. 100% Jordan Henderson will go. He wouldn't
go
for me.
To play in Europe.
Yeah.
So he doesn't get any stick in the Premier League.
And also as well, I've heard, or I believe it's something to do with tax. If he went back to the Premier League, he's got to pay a lot more tax, etc., or whatever. So I think it's suited all parties and all quarters that he's gone and played in the Eredivisie league for Ajax. And got to say, Ajax probably the worst Ajax side that they've had since before Johan Cruyff and Rinus Michels took over. So, is he playing at a good level and standard? No, I don't think he is. He's playing at a better level than he was in Saudi.
He will get what's not being played 100%. For full season.
Harry Maguire, he'll play whether he plays or not. Yeah.
Oh,
Calvin Phillips will go.
Phillips is a prime example.
100%. Phillips will go. Gareth has got his boys and they're all on the plane. There's just a couple of places. I mean, I like the kid Gordon that plays at Newcastle. I think he's a fantastic player. He'd be on the plane for me. Eze would be on the plane for me. I'll be having a look at Elise for Palace as well. And let's see if he wants to play for me rather than go and play for France. All these players I'll be having in my England team. But I don't think Southgate will, because Southgate has got his favourites, and to get in front of some of them players, even though them players aren't playing, I think is almost impossible, sadly. But there you go. Hopefully we'll get rid of Southgate soon, and that we can.
Well, he's got after this tournament.
Yeah, let's hope he does. Let's hope he keeps.
There's no let's hope. He's gone. I guarantee he's gone.
Well, I mean, all these people the Gareth Southgate lovers, because he has got a lot of support out there, Gareth Southgate, and I'm sure
he's got the woke support.
Well, he has, yeah, but I'd like to see all the these fans that are all Gareth Southgate. He's got
the woke support, and he's got the ones.
Yeah.
What? Yes and no, so 3 bags full.
Yeah.
No, nice guy.
Yeah. Oh, he's a nice
What's
guy.
he
I
won?
like him. Nothing.
What's he won?
Nothing.
Well, there you go.
But we're going to be talking
if you
about.
judge by what you win.
Well,
and to listen to the rest of this podcast, head on over to www.patreon.com/SRBmedia. Thank you.